And I was like, I'm so pregnant. Like, so pregnant.
You'll never have the sacred stone. Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be how I found out I was pregnant. I had a few of you actually follow me on Instagram, which was pretty exciting, and leave a comment saying that you'd like me to do how I found out I was pregnant. Oh, and what is this here? I've actually got, I don't know if all you other mummies out there have postpartum baby like hair. Like, what is this? Like, where did that come from? But yeah, how I found out I was pregnant. Like I said in my last video, we weren't trying. We were actually preventing. I was on the pill. So I honestly didn't think that I could fall pregnant. I mean, I know there's the slightest chance, but besides from the pill, we were safe in other ways, which I don't know if I should go into. It's kind of gross. I think you kind of get it. Yep, clearly didn't work for us. And yeah, so by the time I found out I was pregnant, I think I was 8 weeks, maybe a little bit earlier. I don't quite remember, but anyway, so what happened was I used to travel a lot for work. And I was actually in Adelaide, which is a city within Australia, and it's probably 2 hours from where I live. So I was over there for work, running an event with the company that I work for, and I wasn't feeling too crash hot. We were bumping in the event. I was actually on my own at this point, and I just wasn't feeling great. I remember calling Toby, who's my husband, saying, you know, babe, I feel really gross, I'm really tired, like I don't know why I feel so weird. I just didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel nauseous or anything like that. I just felt off, and I don't usually feel off. So that was strange. And he said to me, oh look, you know, you're working really hard and you're probably really super sleepy, and try and get an early night tonight and see how you feel in the morning. So I did. I went to bed early that night, woke up the next morning at about 5 a.m. because that's what time I had to get organized for the event. And I just felt awful. I felt really groggy. I didn't feel like I was in my body, if that makes sense. Like I felt like I was almost outside of my body, just going through the motions. Really weird feeling to describe. And I don't know if that was pregnancy or because I was tired or a combination of both. So the event ended and we had to race to the airport to get on a flight back to Sydney. On the flight back to Sydney, I felt so nauseous. Like I felt like I was going to spew everywhere. And sitting on a window seat, so no real way of escaping if I did need to be sick, was a really awful feeling. So finally got back to Sydney. I wasn't sick on the plane. I just felt really gross. Said goodbye to my colleagues at the airport and convinced them to let me go in my own cab. I don't even think they knew I felt sick. Anyway, so got in the cab, was chatting to the cab driver, and I just remember saying, do you have anything I can be sick into? I feel really, really yuck. He passed me this little tiny Ziploc bag, which I don't know if you have them anywhere else, but it's pretty much like this big, and it's what you put sandwiches into when you go into school and you like zip it up so it's like airtight. And I filled that and I emptied it out the window and I filled it again, and I was so unwell and I just thought I was sick. Like I was like, oh, I have a bug. Told Toby on the phone, I said, I've just spewed in the cab, I'm really, really unwell. Like I don't think I'm gonna go back into the office today, I'm gonna go home. And I went home and just thought I was sick, but after I had vomited or been sick, it's kind of a gross word, I felt fine. I just felt normal again. I got home, I ended up going for a run because I felt completely fine. I was like, oh, I just needed to get it out. And I had obviously a bug that just needed to come out of me. So yeah, and then a few days passed and it happened again. And Toby was like, babe, is there any chance you could be pregnant? And I remember saying, no, God, there's no way, like, you know, no symptoms, like, I feel fine. And I just, yeah, felt normal, I guess. After every time I was sick, and I only was sick twice, I think, in total, I felt normal. And he said, well, can you just do a test, like, for peace of mind? And for a few days, like, yeah, I'll do a test. Like, when I get around to it, I'll do it. And he just kept bugging me. And then after probably about a week, I'd say, maybe not even a week, a few days, can't really remember exactly. I finally did a test at work. Pretty sure it was going to be negative. Like I was almost 100% sure it was going to be negative. And literally the second I peed on the stick, you know how you meant to wait 5 minutes or whatever it is, 2 lines came up straight away. And I was like, weird. Like, no, can't be real. Like, surely not. Like maybe, I don't know, something happened. So it was a packet of 3 tests. So I peed on the second one. And again, 2 lines straight away. And I freaked out. I was like, okay, do one more. I literally had no pee left. Like it was the tiniest drop of pee on this stick. 2 lines straight away. Freaked out. And I called Toby. And I said, oh, babe, I've got to tell you something. And he goes, you're pregnant. And I was like, I'm so pregnant. Like so pregnant. The test came up so quickly. I'm so pregnant. What are we going to do? And I remember him saying to me, he was in shock. But he was like, we can do this, we'll be fine, you know, like we've got so much support around us. And that was reassuring for me, to be honest with you. And I hate to have to say this, we did go back and forth whether or not we should keep it. And I know that's controversial, but for me, I was just starting out in my career, you know, striving in my career. So was he. We still lived at home with my parents. So it was stressful, and thank God we did keep her because she's so beautiful. And you know, everything's worked out. After we found out we were pregnant, we just hugged and said, you know, it's gonna be okay and we'll figure it out. And I'm super close to my family, and my parents were actually away in Europe they were gone for like 8 weeks and they just left. So I didn't really want to call them and say, hey, I'm pregnant, surprise, because that would seriously have shocked them. And I feel like they almost would have come home. Not that they could have really done anything, but I just feel like they would have wanted to be with me. My sister found out, actually, she found my prenatals, I think it was. And she was like, didn't really confront me, but she sort of said, oh, I found this, like, what's this? I was like, oh, nothing, like, don't know, not sure whose they are kind of thing. And then eventually, a few days later, I told her that I was pregnant, and she was so excited. She said she knew, and I think she totally did, because I was kind of being a bit iffy. And then I told my other sister, who's 4 years younger than me, and she too was super excited, and she just was like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna tell mom? Oh my gosh, how are you gonna tell mom and dad? Like, they're gonna freak out. And I was like, I know, like, really nervous. I'm gonna wait till they get back. So probably 6 weeks at that point had passed when my parents got back. And the second they landed, I was like, I have to tell them. I need to tell them. I'm so far along. I was already over 12 weeks. Yeah, I was in the second trimester. And anyway, so mum and dad got home from the airport, and I was so nervous. I had to go to work, and I had written mum a letter. Dad, I knew, would be quite supportive. He loves kids. He wanted 5 children. They started young. You know, my mum had me just before she turned 22. So she's super young. My dad is super young as well. He was 24 or 25 when he had me. And they had all 4 kids before the time my mum was 28. So they're young. They did it. They've made a beautiful life for us. So I know that they know that I can do it as well. But anyway, rewind. Dad I know would have been fine with it. Mum's like my best friend, and I felt guilty from keeping it from her. I felt like all the conversations we'd had when they were away, I think she knew I was keeping something from her. Before I went to work, I was going to give her this letter, and I couldn't do it. So I gave it to my little sister. She took the letter, and I said, once I've left, can you give this to mum? And she was like, no, Zoe, like, you've got to do it. And I was like, I can't. I seriously can't. I need you to do it. So I left for work, freaking out. The whole car trip to work, I was so nervous. Anyway, she gave the letter. She texted me and said I'd given it to mum. She's sitting down on the bed reading it. And after she read the letter, Sophie, who's my sister, said that mum said she needs to go for a run. And when mum needs to go for a run, she needs to clear her head. I got a message from her saying, like, we need to talk. And I said, yeah, no. And we had a chat, and she was, I wouldn't say disappointed, she was shocked. I mean, she knew how focused I was on my career at that point in time. And I think she was just like, what are you gonna do? Like, you know, you live at home, and how is this gonna work? And she was just worried for me, like any parent would be. And if Heidi came to me at 22 years old, still living under my roof with her boyfriend, I would say to her, what are you gonna do? Like, it's just a natural reaction. They just worry about you, right? It was a shock. It was a shock to everyone. Dad was so excited. He literally like picked me up and shook me around because he was so excited to be a grandfather and a young one. So yeah, Mum came around super fast, and then she was the one that was most into it. I mean, before I was 20 weeks pregnant, we pretty much had everything organized. The nursery, the car seat, the pram, everything. Not the nursery. I shouldn't say the nursery because we didn't move into our house until I was 38 weeks pregnant. But that's another story. When I say the nursery, we had all the stuff for the nursery. And then once we moved into our place, and we bought our place actually, so we saved super hard, ended up buying a place, which we're in now. This is our messy bedroom. All the mess is hidden on the floor, which is good. That's kind of how I found out I was pregnant. It was a huge shock, biggest blessing. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you. I'm really into commenting at the moment. So comment, Instagram, I'll leave my Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I'm trying to get into Twitter, but Instagram is my main one. Oh, and Snapchat. I love Snapchat. So I'll leave all the links down below. So leave me any questions or follow me on there. Subscribe to my channel. I hate saying that, but subscribe if you want to come along for our journey because you'll get notifications when I upload. And I'm trying to upload a video every day until it sort of gets going. You know what I've just realized? I played netball last night, which if you live in America or anywhere else, you probably don't know what netball is, but it's like female basketball where you don't move. And I put my ring on the wrong finger. Who does that? Well, I will go. Thank you so much for the people who have already for the people who have already subscribed. I feel like I'm already connecting with you guys, so it's so exciting. Alrighty, subscribe, like, do all those good things, and I'll speak to you in our next video.